Hey everyone, it's Daniel. I really thought about what kind of format I should be putting this video in. I was thinking maybe I should record one for everyone, or maybe I should just record the ones that you guys put your names on. But I realized one of the biggest things about this activity is that you can hear everyone else's struggles and what they're dealing with, and I'll even share mine as well. And from that, you can see that we're all in the same boat here. We're all college students, and college is hard, just straight up. That's why we have so much stress, and we have this kind of activity. So I understand where you all are coming from. I actually took a quick look at everyone's papers, and a lot of these things I struggled with as a freshman, and even now as a junior, I still struggle with too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read through each one. You can find the start of a new paper in the description below, and you can actually click and skip to the ones. And I will actually send you an email with what student number you are, so you can actually just go and click and see what I have to say about what you wrote and my encouragement for you. So let's get to it. Thanks for listening, and we got this. We really do. We got this. You and me, us all, we got this. All right, let's begin. Chem midterms, specifically that getting a bad grade in chem will impact my ability to get into BioE or my desired engineering majors. So I know that having a bad grade can impact placement. I do understand that. But one thing you can keep in mind is it's not just about the numbers. You can tell a story through improvement. When your first grade might be a little lower than you want, you can keep working and keep trying hard and improve the chem grade or whatever class you're taking next in the next quarter and do better. And you can tell a story of how adjustment to college was hard, but in the end you figured it out through trying. Just know that one specific grade won't be end all either. You can also work hard on your other classes, get the support you need, but just know that you can do it. Lastly, if you are specifically worried about chemistry, it's great to figure out a good study method that can carry you on for the rest of your college career. This is the time to start fall quarter. It's understandable that the transition is hard. So you got this, good luck. I left my water bottle. Okay, it's fine. Second one. I'm generally stressed about school, especially chemistry, and managing time, because I feel like I joined too many extracurriculars. But I feel like dropping any extracurriculars would look bad. Okay, let's go with the first part, chem. Chem is hard. It is hard. And I totally understand about joining too many extracurriculars. I myself also joined way too many extracurriculars my freshman year. I spread myself out way too thin. I totally get that. But acknowledging that shows maturity, and it shows that you understand that sometimes we can commit to too many things, and that's okay. I think dropping commitments so that we can do better on the ones that we are actually interested in is much better than trying to juggle 8, 9 balls and dropping them here and there. I think it's better to juggle 3, 4, 5 consistently and well. Lastly, I know this is easier said than done, but don't overload yourself. It's so easy to do all these different things, trying to get involved, but in the end, we are all human. We have our own physical, mental, emotional limitations, and that's okay. That's what's great about being human, right? We aren't machines. So just know that, life is short. Don't overwork yourself. And it's better to be great at the things that you are committed to than doing like an average job in more of them. All right, next one. Low-key burning out, but stressed about next midterms and finals and thinking about future academic plans. Yeah, I mentioned this in class today, but I'm also feeling burnt out as well. Totally get it. Not just you, not just me, but everyone. We've all been working hard. It's the first in-person quarter, and we're all feeling burnt out, and that's okay. I know things get stressful sometimes, but it's important to first recognizing that you're burning out. That's the first step. So I'm glad that you understand that, you might be low-key burning out. I get that. Me too. The second step is figuring out ways you can change to that to avoid burning out completely. And that comes with self-care. Self-care is so important because we're human. Humans, our goal isn't just academics or money or jobs. It's about family, friends, relationships, emotions. That's what makes us human. So understand that we have to take care of that human side of us as well through self-care. That includes talking to family, friends, even on the phone, or working out, or taking the time to do the things you enjoy. Even just an hour a week could make all the difference. So make sure you're taking care of the human side of you. Great. The next one says, my Classics 205 class, I'm very nervous about my final grade. I don't have an efficient study system for it, though it is a pretty easy class. So yeah, I've been there. I messed up an easy class before. It makes sense. Sometimes the course content is just so different that we don't get it right off the bat. That's okay. I definitely think that check out the academic success programs. Go talk to an academic coach. They will help you kind of figure out a great study system that works even just for this class, if this is the only class that you're having a harder time in. And you can also just talk about how to study efficiently in all of your other classes. It's a great resource. I definitely recommend you check it out. And in the end, like I said earlier, one class won't make or break your placement or your GPA. It's okay if you don't do well in one class. As long as overall you have a great study system for the rest of your classes and you're doing great, sometimes it just doesn't work out for a class, and that's okay. I've been there, and you'll still live, and you'll be fine. Got this. Next one says, it feels like everything keeps piling up with no chance to catch up. Oh yeah, I've been there. Oh yeah. It's so easy for things to pile up, and I totally get it. You get sick one week, everything piles up. Or you have to go somewhere else and leave school for a bit, it piles up. It makes sense. And it's hard, I get that. The best thing, what really works for me, is I just write down a full list of the things I need to get done, or the things I missed, right? Just everything, for every class, whatever you need to catch up on. Then you actually remove the ones that you don't need. That extra practice midterm that they gave you, cross it off, because I'd rather get through the main lectures and the homeworks first than do anything extra. And honestly, if I need more time, I will ask for an extension. So when you're falling behind, it's completely okay to just ask for an extension. Teachers understand, professors understand that we all get behind sometimes, but they want to see you succeed. I want to see you succeed. So it's okay to ask for extensions too. Just explain your situation, let them know your plan, and I'm sure that they will understand. If they don't give you an extension, just do your best. Go with that list, write down the list, cross out the things that you don't need to do or that are optional. And then also, this is the biggest part that a lot of people don't do. And that's to start the list. For me, I find it's really hard when I make these lists that I look at this huge list and I'm like, oh shoot, that's so many things. But that list doesn't get any shorter until you start it. And once you get one done, the next one's done, next, and you're on a roll, and you'll find out you get almost all or all of it done by the time you catch up, and the feeling's great. You got this. Next one says, one thing that has been stressing me out has been managing my workload and prioritizing my well-being. That's definitely hard. Workload and well-being. I mentioned this earlier. to someone else that wrote something similar, but it's hard to balance it. I get that. That's kind of why the adjustment to college is hard, because you're now taking care of yourself completely, and you have all these courses and classes and grades and stuff like that. So I get it. I want to say this: prioritize your well-being first. Your well-being comes first. Getting enough sleep, getting enough exercise, eating good food, healthy food. And I know it's easy to, snack on junk food or something quick, but you have to make sure you're eating right. Because all of these things, prioritizing your well-being, will help you succeed in school. It's mutual. So if you don't prioritize your well-being and you prioritize schoolwork first, your effort and the amount of work that you can do will go down. So the only way to prevent that is first prioritize your well-being, then your schoolwork, and then that'll work out. And also, if it's hard to kind of balance all of this, go to check out academic support programs, talk to an academic success coach, and they will help you out. They will help you figure out a good system. Use this resource. It's great. Good luck. All right, the next one says, something stressing me out is getting a good grade in my classes, especially math and chem. Midterms are hard. It seems like the finals are worth so many points, and if I do bad on them, I feel like it's over. Totally understand. Midterms, grades, finals, it's all stressful. It's so stressful. I feel that stress too. But in the end, first make sure that you have healthy ways of coping and dealing with that stress, including ways for self-care. Second, go check out academic support programs. I feel like I'm a representative of them, but I'm not. I went there as a freshman. I was really, really struggling, and they helped me out so much. I have a great study system, something that works even to this day. Academic support programs also will teach you about like the 2-week schedule in advance for any tests. Teaches you to plan ahead, figuring out your game plan for your midterms and finals. And this strategy will help you succeed, not just in this quarter, not just this class, but in all the rest of the quarters and classes that you will have. It's great to have this down your freshman year so that you have something to rely on. It's really great to have a system. I really, really, really encourage it. You got this. Next one says, I am stressed out about my chemistry and math classes. May not drop out, but genuinely scared I will be kicked out. Okay, I get that. They have a GPA that you must meet, and it's scared that you won't meet it. But you're not gonna get kicked out, all right? I promise you, you will not get kicked out. If your grades do dip below a certain point, you'll go through the academic probation process. And I know that sounds scary, but academic probation is just a plan for you to get back on track. So don't worry, you won't get kicked out. I promise you. And I know I've said this many times before, but you can go check out Clue, go to office hours, talk to your professors and TAs if it's too much and things are getting stressful. Ask for extensions, take your time on completing assignments if that will help you deal with your stress. But more importantly, find ways that you can deal with the stress in healthy outlets. Exercise, go take a walk, go listen to music, go talk with friends, call family. Do what works for you so you can handle that stress. And in the end, college grades are not the end of the world. There's a lot more to college. You make new friends, you make new memories. You get to really explore and see what's great for you. You get to live, on campus if you are living on campus. But it's a great experience, and you got this. It's not all about grades. So just do your best, keep at it, and make use of the resources that are available to you. Got this. Okay, this next one says, imposter syndrome and feeling like I'm so far behind from everyone else. And there's another bullet point, not having enough motivation to try and catch up and become someone I'd actually be proud. Doing the bare minimum so I can still progress, but not enough to actually improve. The funny thing is, I sometimes feel this way a lot of the time too. I feel like I don't have enough motivation, or sometimes I feel like I'm doing the bare minimum, and I get that. But first, I hope you can see that from this video. It's not just you that's feeling that way. We all are. Everyone's feeling like they're struggling in classes. They feel stressed. They feel behind. I feel behind in my classes. And that's okay. That's college. Honestly, if we were all on top of our stuff, oh wow, that's wild. But know that everyone else is struggling. You're not alone. And my encouragement to you is this: take baby steps. I know that you feel like you're doing the bare minimum, and I feel that way too sometimes. What I tell myself is, hey, take a baby step today. What's one little baby step that I can take today that will push me from the bare minimum? Then the next day, you keep going, you push again, take another baby step, start walking, take strides, and then start running, and you'll be at the end of the race, and you got it. And lastly, I know you said you want to, you don't have enough motivation to become someone you'd be proud of. Be proud of yourself. I know that sounds really cheesy, but you deserve it. You've worked really hard to get into UW. You're here, you're right now, you're in this great school with great people around you. Be proud. And I know that, you might have friends, family, other people that are proud of you, but in life, people come and go. The only person that stays will be you. And if you're not proud of yourself, who will? You have to be proud of yourself. That's why it's going to keep pushing you to go do new things, drive, and work harder. You got this. Be proud of yourself, because I'm proud of you. Next one says, what's stressing me out is the insane amount of uncertainty surrounding my future. Simple decisions I make now can change the course of my life. And the worst part is, I won't know about that change until it actually happens. Me too. Totally, 100%, me too. I'm so worried about my future, and it's so uncertain, and I totally understand. And I know that feeling, that one little decision could impact everything else, like the butterfly effect. But that's life. We can't always make the right decisions and take the right optimal path to success. Life is all about doing things, making mistakes, and learning from those mistakes, trial and error. Oh my gosh, I've made so many mistakes my freshman, sophomore, even junior year now to this day, that sure, I regret them, but in the end, I'm glad that I made those mistakes, because they proved to me to be learning opportunities for me to prevent making those same mistakes again, so I can grow and become better. Without those mistakes, I wouldn't be where I am now. I wouldn't be who I am now. I really mean that. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. They will help you. Just not crazy mistakes, but things that, don't crazily affect your life, but it's okay to make mistakes. It really is, because we can all learn from them. You got this. Next one says, one thing that's stressing me out is just passing chem, as it's proven to be very difficult due to the fact I haven't taken a chem class before, and I feel like I'm significantly behind the average person in my class. I totally understand. I felt like I was the most behind person in some of my classes before, and that's okay. Here's the fact. This is where you are now. This is where you are now, really. Now what? You have a lot of stuff to catch up on, but instead of seeing it as an obstacle or something difficult, see it as an opportunity, see it as a challenge. Can you overcome these odds? Because I think you can. I really believe that you can. I believe, really. I don't say this randomly. I know, I've seen you work. I know that you can do it. Take this as a growth opportunity. What can I learn about chemistry? What can I learn about myself, how I work? Take this challenge as an opportunity. And lastly, create a plan. I said this a couple times earlier too, but create a plan to catch up. Write down the things you need to do, then cross out the things that don't really impact as much, like an optional midterm or optional quiz or some stuff like that. Cross it off. You don't have time for that. Focus on the lectures, homework, course content that needs to be caught up with. Ask for extensions on homework, and create a plan and let your professor know. It's okay to admit that you're behind. That's actually a lot of maturity, to admit that. Not a lot of people do. So create a plan. I believe in you. Take this as an opportunity to grow and learn more chemistry. Really, it'll help in the future, I promise. You got this. Our next person says, low-key failing all my classes. And I think that low-key is there, so I'm sure you're not completely failing them, but you're not performing as well as you'd like. First thing I want to suggest is talk to your professors. Figure out a plan that works for you. Figure out a way to catch up. I've said this a couple times earlier in this video if you want to go back and check and see what I've recommended. But definitely talk to your professors. Go check out academic success programs. Really, they can help you set a plan to get back on track and a great study system that will work for you, not just for this quarter, but for the rest of your time at UW. It's not too late. I know it's week 8, but it's not too late to turn things around. I believe you. I believe in you, really. It's not too late. It's never too late. If you put in the work now and get the support you need, then you'll be great. You got this. Next person says, I'm afraid I just won't be a good engineer, or rather, I can't be one. And actually, me too. My freshman year, I thought for so long to transfer to Foster, do some business degree, because I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if engineering is the right fit for me. It's so hard. But I stayed with it. I persevered. I had grit, as we learned today. And I saw, and I'm sure a lot of people can back me up on this too, but as I kept taking more classes, as I became a sophomore and junior, as I kept going, I learned to think like an engineer, and the less it seemed like I'm not an engineer. And the more classes I take and the more things I do, I feel more like an engineer, and I start to think like an engineer. No one is just born with engineering instincts, I promise you. If some baby was born with engineering knowledge, oh my gosh, it's a legendary baby right there. But we're all human, right? We all start from somewhere. And wherever we start with, that's okay. All that matters is the journey there. So don't worry. You're just only beginning your journey, and it's easy to feel discouraged, but instead, think about all the opportunities and things coming to you for you to become a better engineer, to learn. You'll learn things like technical communication as engineers, how to think in the engineering design method process. You'll get to do projects, and you'll get to learn all these different concepts, and it's so cool. I promise you, it will be rewarding. Lastly, you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself that you will be an engineer, that you will become a good engineer. Because I said this to someone else earlier, but if you don't believe in yourself, then who will? You got this, because I believe in you. I hope you can believe in yourself. Next one says, just balancing studying and classwork and homework. And I gotta say, balance is hard. For me, it took about 2 quarters my freshman year to really get that balance down. And then COVID hit, and I had to relearn that balance all over again. So trust me, it takes time. That's why everyone asks, oh, how's your son or daughter doing in college? Because they know that that initial adjustment period is hard. They've been through it. I've been through it. You're going through it. But you got it. Give yourself some grace, and you'll get through it. Also, if you're having trouble balancing studying, schedule times to study. I've mentioned this in class, but one of the things I learned from academic support programs is to actually block out times in your schedule where you will be studying. And it's easy to ignore that and do other things like go on your phone or go hang out with friends. But when you schedule something, keep to it, because that'll help you stay on track and balanced. And also balance the fun stuff too, I promise. Balance both. Add both in your schedule. Lastly, you also wrote that balancing studying and classwork homework. So I recommend to you, figure out the purpose of the homework assignment. Figure out the purpose of what you're learning in the lecture. What are you learning? What are you doing in your homework? What kind of skills and concepts and methods are you learning and performing in your homework? That whole process of, whether simple things like balancing a chemical equation or finding, the integral of something or stuff like that. What is that process and why is that homework asking you to do this? That in itself is a learning process, and it is a way to study. Studying, happens in lectures and in homework too. So try to find the value and purpose of everything you do for school, and it will definitely make studying a lot less harder and more manageable too, because you'll find that you have to study less if you really get the point initially in the lectures and homework, what they're trying to get at. Got this. Next one says, something that stresses me out is the future. I'm not sure where I want to go or what I want to do exactly. Again, me too. Someone else shares the same struggle. I'm sure a lot of us do. We all do. We're all uncertain and not sure what we want to do. I have a vague idea, but I'm really not sure what my next couple of years will look like. And it's okay. Stick to the process, stick to the engineering exploration process. You'll find something, I promise you. Just keep looking around, keep exploring, keep reaching out, keep going to RSO events, keep talking to people, upperclassmen, professors, people, mentors. It's a great way to really see what you want to do in the future. And I'm still in that process too. I just hit a couple people up on LinkedIn not too long ago, heard about what they do, and I tried to really think if I was interested in that or not. I'm still going through that process. And lastly, there is no one right answer. There could be a lot of things that you want to do or things that interest you. There is no one clear-cut path to life or the ideal career. You just have to explore, take the time to explore. If this is something that is really stressing you out, the best way to deal with that is first find healthy ways to deal with that stress, and also ways to help you feel a little more certain by exploring. You got this. This one says physics in big letters. Oh man, I absolutely hate physics. And I'm doing some physics stuff right now and it makes me want to cry. I'm not really sure what the context is too much with just physics, but like I said, I totally recommend, I encourage you to check out resources such as Clue, go to office hours, find study groups, or make use of the study groups that you're in. Don't go through this alone because there's so many resources for you as a UW student. So make use of those, take advantage of them. Second is, I just want to ask, how are you studying? If you feel like your studying method isn't that great, go check out academic support programs. I came to this realization that it's not about the amount of time or amount of hours you spend studying or working on a homework assignment or anything, but it's really how efficient and how well your process works for you. And everyone works differently, learns differently, studies differently. The goal is to just find the most efficient and effective way to study. And the best way to do that is trial and error. Try different study methods. Do you study better in the morning, in the evening? Do you study better in 1 hour chunks, 30-minute chunks, all at once? Do you study better right after the lecture? Do you study better after you get everything done and then you just have a study block? Do you like to study with people? Do you like to study alone? Where do you like to study? Do you like to study in your dorm room, in a lounge, at a cafe, at a library? There's so many ways to really find out your studying method. So I really recommend trial and error. Try and figure out what works best for you. The better that you find a system that works for you, the better you'll be. For example, for me, what works really well is I can't study in my room or in my apartment. I have to go out to a lounge or a cafe. I can't do libraries either. It's so weird, right? That's why everyone's study methods are so different. For me, I work in 30-minute chunks, or actually 20-minute chunks with 5-minute breaks. One thing that works for me is I stay on one thing until I'm completely done, then I move on to the next thing. I try to find some time to study every day, at least the lecture content that I learned that day helps me re-solidify my learning. For example, that's what works for me, and it's up to you to find out what works for you, and you got it. I believe in you. Next one says, I'm worried about being successful so my parents can be proud of me, and so my siblings have someone to look up to. I totally understand. just making your parents proud and having siblings look up to you. I myself have a younger brother, and I sometimes really want him to look up to me and see me as an example for him too. But first, you will be successful. You will be successful. Put your mind to it. You already made it to the University of Washington. You're in the College of Engineering. Right now where you are, that's already amazing. You worked hard to get here. Don't discredit what you've done so far. Really, be proud of yourself for that. Second, be successful for yourself. Succeed for yourself. Because I know the feeling of wanting to make parents proud. I feel all of that too. But the best reward is succeeding for yourself, setting goals and accomplishing them. Make yourself proud. Succeed for yourself, because in the end, we can always try to do things, succeed, excel, do all of this stuff for other people, but in the end, life is people come and go. And the only person that's left is you. Always, you're only with yourself, ever, at all times. Succeed for yourself, and you'll succeed greatly. Lastly, I used to send my screenshots of my grades, or if I got this award, I send it to my parents. And one time my parents were just like, you really don't need to send this stuff. What really makes us proud is that you're healthy, that you're happy, that you're taking care of yourself, that you're being nice to others, that you have good relations with others, you're having a great time in college. That's what we care about. And I know every family is different, but sometimes when we have this idea of wanting to make others proud, we don't really know what makes them proud of us. So keep that in mind. Good way is just to have a conversation with them too, because me having that conversation really opened my eyes, and it's taken a lot of stress off me. I mean, they still want me to do my best and try hard, don't get me wrong, but for me, they were like, you don't need perfect grades or even the best grades or high grades, as long as you're doing your best. You got this, I believe in you. This one says, I'm not doing as well as I'd like or as I think I should in one of my classes, and I'm just very frustrated. Totally understand, when you're not doing well in one class, it really impacts you, and I understand that frustration. Best thing you can do is first talk to that professor and talk to the TA if you have a TA. Talk to them and let them know what you're going through and how you can do better. And I'm sure they will have a lot of great tips for you to succeed. Your professors, your TAs want to see you succeed. They're not out there to get you, I promise. They want to see you succeed. And honestly, admitting that you think that you're not doing as well in a class, it shows maturity, it shows growth, it shows that you can identify your weak spots, and that provides you a platform for where you can grow. So it's great that you've already acknowledged it. That's the first step into turning this around. So that's great. Reach out to academic support programs if you need more resources. I promise they are a great resource. They can help you get back on track and help you do better in this class. And I think the biggest thing is we come in from high school into college with super high expectations. Coming into the UW, a lot of us have had very great stellar grades in high school or performed well in high school, where things just came a lot easier for us. And I understand the shift to college is so different. But for a lot of people, they'll see their GPAs drop from their high school GPA, and that's understandable. A high school GPA is not a college GPA. It's not at all. At all. 0%. For high school, you perform based on percentages, but college you have curves, you have different assignments, you have different types of assignments, you have life. You have life to think about too on top of that. So just understand, give yourself grace, and give yourself room to grow. It's okay that you're not meeting super high standards right off the bat. It's totally okay. That's where the growth comes in. Good luck. You got it. This one says, trying to be on top of schoolwork and being able to complete all tasks on time. That is so hard, and me too. I am pretty bad with time. I think that's one of the biggest weaknesses and flaws that I have. It's hard for me to keep track of deadlines and finish things on time. It's not just you, and I'm sure a lot of other people struggle with that too. My greatest piece of advice is track all of your assignments in an online list, to-do list. I use this app called Todoist without the L in list. It's called Todoist. It's a great way to organize what assignments you have. What I do at the beginning of the quarter is write down all the assignments I have due and the dates that they're due, and it helps me just keep in track. And this app actually just shows me what I have next in the next 7 days and helps me plan ahead. That way you're not scrolling through different Canvas pages and you're not missing any assignments. And when you get a new assignment out of the blue, you can just add it to this list and it'll give you a reminder. So it's great. Another great way is to schedule time to do your schoolwork and your tasks and homework and other responsibilities for ourselves. It will help, definitely. Scheduling time allows you to create space in your schedule to actually get things done. I feel like a lot of the time, at least for me, a day can go by so quickly. I already can't believe I'm recording this, it's almost 9 p.m. And this day has gone by so fast. So it's really important that you're scheduling time to get things done. That way, you can also just let your day go by, but also that time to work will be there and you'll work during that time. Lastly, one of the biggest things I couldn't do was saying no. If you feel like you have other responsibilities and things that are just way too much and there's another thing that you want to do, it's okay to say no. And it's hard at first because especially if it's like a friend that wants to go hang out, have some fun, but you got this Alex thing due like tonight, like learning to say no is an essential skill that you'll learn in college. And I'm not saying say no all the time so you can get stellar grades. I'm saying say no when you need to have that balance to make sure that you can get things in on time. I already had to say no to something else today so I can get some more work done tonight. You got this. This one says, speaking with sophomores, juniors, or seniors and how successful or the opportunities they pursue or their accomplishments and how I will make my stay or experience. So that's a big one. I mean, when you're talking with sophomores, juniors, seniors, or even during our panel and seeing how accomplished they are, it's nerve-wracking, especially LinkedIn too. You'll see a lot of people posting things about their internship or job offer or stuff that they did, and it's nerve-wracking, but I think that's the biggest thing that we can do that won't help us at all, which is comparing. It's so easy to compare ourselves to others. It's so easy. But remember, don't compare yourself with the person next to you, but compare yourself with the person you were yesterday. And that way you can take steps into getting things done, progressing, making your own experience and your own stay. Lastly, actually before I say something else, instead of comparing them with them, use their experience, use their advice that they give. Instead of saying, oh my gosh, that's cool, I'm never gonna be like that, or oh my gosh, I'm so nervous about being like that. Instead, ask them, hey, how did you do that? Like, how did you get plugged in like that? How did you find that internship? How did you reach out to that professor? How did you get involved with that RSO? Instead of comparing, ask them, use their advice, use their experiences to your advantage. And lastly, and this is pretty cheesy, but I got a low power notification, but this is cheesy, but you make your own story. Those are all other people's stories, and sure, they might sound cool, but that's not yours. Yours is the one that you write and define for yourself. So understand that you are the author of your story. So don't worry about getting anything wrong because you're the author. No worries about comparing yourself to others. Just work hard and write your own story. You got this. And I believe this is the last one. So thank you for sticking with me to the end. But this person says, I am stressed out about applying to bioengineering. It seems competitive and I don't know if I'm qualified. And I think a lot of people share the same sentiment. And I want to say I felt this way for so long. I was always stressed that I wouldn't get into BioE and that I wouldn't make it because I had a low GPA and I wasn't getting involved compared to my other peers. And and especially with that first rejection from bioengineering, it definitely took a blow to me. But understand that, or actually I just want to quickly tell a story. And I'm sure I might have shared bits and pieces of this story too, but I didn't know where to go, really. After my first rejection to BioE, I had no idea where to go. And the best thing you can do is talk to your advisor. I talked to my advisor, and really, I've heard all this talk about interdisciplinary, but talk to my advisor. And I talked to all these other engineering advisors for specific degrees. And I talked to upperclassmen. And the same message, out of all the advice and things that they shared, the same message was echoed by every single person, is that when we're all working in the field, person sitting next to you on both sides will probably major in complete different things, not even an engineering degree sometimes. So understand that, don't worry about not getting into bioengineering. Know that engineering and honestly just things of this world, they're so interdisciplinary. It's not that chemical engineers are the only ones that make drugs and pharmaceuticals, and bioengineers are the only ones that do genetic treatments, and aerospace engineers are the only ones that can make planes. No, it's all a collaborative process. And honestly, just find what you love, explore, go through the process. That's great about the College of Engineering, that they have 6 rankings. You can look at different majors, and it's not that, I'm gonna major in this, but instead, think about what you can do with that major. Find something that interests you in each major, and really what field interests you, and then you can rank it like that. Don't just look at the major itself. And yes, it is competitive, but don't worry about not getting in, but instead, just focus on doing your best, trying your best, because your best is all that matters, really. And lastly, I know you said you don't know if you're qualified. I know that you're qualified. I know that every single person in our class in UW is qualified. We are in the University of Washington. We are Huskies. We are qualified. We've worked hard to get where we are now. And the hard work that we've all been putting in this quarter shows that we are qualified. We do our best. We look for opportunities. We grow from mistakes and failures. And that's life. We are qualified. And honestly, even if any of you don't get into the major that you want, your first choice, I really hope that you've explored enough to find second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, so many different majors and little niches in each of them that you're really interested in. Because life is too short to really make one specific thing happen. Life has so many different roads, so many different doors, and a lot of them end up ending in the same or really similar places. So don't stress out if you can't get in that one specific road or you can't take that one specific path, because there's another one right in front of your eyes that you just haven't discovered yet. And Ken, you got this. You all got this. Thank you for letting me read all of your worries and stresses, and just letting me have some advice. And I know that I'm just also another UW student, but I hope this is really encouraging for you all, because I really do care about each and every one of you. And I really want to see each and every one of you succeed and do great things, not just at the UW, but in your lives. I really think you can do it. You all are so talented. You all bring so much energy and effort into our class. And it's so amazing. You've made my experience as your EPE so great. And the vibes and just the atmosphere of our classroom, it can't just be done by all me. It's done by all of you. Your willingness to learn, your willingness to grow, your willingness to try hard and really work for what you want. And that amazes me every single day. Every single day, really. So, leave these worries in the past. You wrote them all a couple hours ago. Figure out ways to deal with this stress. Go back and rewatch your part if you need to, or watch other people's parts. And lastly, you're not alone. We all struggle together. And just know, we're all in the same boat. Let's encourage each other. Let's work with one another. Let's support each other. And most importantly, let's live life together. For me, I haven't gotten a chance to share mine, but I will be pretty open, like you all have been pretty open with me, and share with me, or shared with me, so I'll share with you. So one of my biggest worries right now is honestly speaking, I still haven't gotten involved in a lab or internship opportunity. And I know I play it off as saying, I don't really want to do that. I want to go in a different field. And yes, that is true, but I do also want to be a part of an internship or lab group. And it's definitely been stressing me out for the past couple of months. But the advice that I give to myself is, I've said this many times before too, but there's no one clear-cut path in life. Whether I do an internship now or even after I graduate, there's no specific timeline to getting things right and optimizing my success. Sure, there are ways to do that, but for me, just enjoy life as it goes. Work hard, do your best, and take breaks, and take care of yourself, your physical health, because you only have one life. And just take baby steps. Apply to one lab tonight, and maybe apply to 2 tomorrow, because I haven't really been taking the time to do that, but I can just start taking baby steps. So know that you all aren't alone. We all have so many stresses, and what we can do forward is put these in the past and move forward, keep growing, and make the most out of our college experience at UW. You got this. I believe in you, and go Dogs. Peace.